Hello, and thanks for being poetry people. My name is Ari Gold.
I'm Ethan Gold.
It's my brother. And we have a book called Father versus Sons, a correspondence in poems that we created with our dad, Herbert Gold, who died in November and leaves behind a legacy of lots of beautiful novels, as well as this final book of poems. He had not written much in the last couple years of his life, and during lockdown, I started mailing him poems. I was sort of a new poet, and mailing him poems by U.S. mail with an envelope in it and a stamp saying, "Send me a poem back." And this turned into a correspondence, which then Ethan joined and started sending his own poems in. And we got our dad writing again in the last couple years of his life. And anyway, we're happy to share some of this legacy with you. So I wanted to start with where it began, and then we'll give you a little sample of some of the poems. This one is called Scribble Me a Poem. Scribble me a poem, Dad. I know your excuses for not writing. You can't see the cranes of the typewriter now gathering dust. The tomato soup is gone, the prunes hard. You mixed them for me at breakfast this winter in a glass bowl glazed with last week's soup. But I drew the line at eating such a delicacy, microwaved with loving ingenuity by a child of the first Great Depression. At this moment, you must be practicing your North Korean marching steps over the couch piled high with the New York Times. You face the spire of Grace Cathedral, which thrusts into golden mist, announcing dawn in San Francisco. Scribble me a poem, Dad, but it must be me I'm commanding, dreaming of the Baltics, facing a palm tree, waiting for hummingbirds to meditate along with me. So his response to that was Diagnosis and Verdict by Herbert Gold. Even well into my 80s, I thought I was a young man. I knew I would die someday, but the diagnosis would have to be he died of the complications of young age. So anyway, that's a little sample of me and my dad writing. Maybe I will read one more of my dad's, and then Ethan can join in as he did in the real correspondence. This one, I think I want to read one about our mother, who so this is the scene of this next one, called Theft by Herb, takes place a couple years before we were born, so maybe that will be nice to hear. Theft. Wicker basket, sandwiches on nut bread, the chilled wine in cloth wrapping, sunlight and a hillside, cloud light over a mountain, and an ironic lady apologizing for an excess of effort. I carried the basket into a sloping mountain meadow, took it from her, but didn't apologize. It's not sexist. Needn't say you're sorry just because this is California, but thanks anyway. Men sometimes can still do the carrying. She took a deep breath and invited me to do the same because there was plenty of air in California. I think I'll lie down here all by my lonesome. It's highly recommended. Shade and sun both, like life. Nobody around. If it strikes your fancy, join me. A jokey lady. I dream her still. She stretched on the leaves and grass. I lay there by her side by side at first. She danced her way deeper into me than I was into myself. Me too, she said. Me too, we're together. I was deeper into her than she was into herself. Wisps of gathering clouds above us darkened like the unknown future. We dropped into sleep on a California hillside, grass in our nostrils, pine in our lungs, scents burned into scratches and scrapes among the debris of sandwiches eaten and hastily not. We were in a hurry. No need to hurry. Two anxious souls were one soul that day, that year, one tranquil soul forever, so we thought. But is this ever allowed? just because a summer hillside under this California sun. Was this allowed for one girl and one boy, amazed heart leaping in his chest? It was the dream of two souls lifted together into their dream on a mountain meadow under the noontime sun. Daylight brightness forgets that night comes again, always follows, like age, like habit, like death, and even memory steals away. So, there we go, folks. Ethan, would you like to share one with us?
Well, I want to be relevant to this part of the conversation. I came in later with my poems later in the conversation. So, well, I guess we're jumping forward in the book. This, I guess, connects a little bit with some of the prunes and the yogurt. So, Kiefer was, our father was a fan of the yogurt arts.
I think he called it kefir.
No.
Oh, he called it kefir? I think he called it kefir. Mom called it kefir.
Anyway, I think I called it kefir to him to tease him. But anyway, kefir, which I spelled PH, so maybe it's kefir. Before the invention of tanks and Freon, we kicked the bag of goat milk hanging by the wooden door every time we'd enter or exit. Today I stocked up my kitchen fridge for a midday snack, but I couldn't hear the goats or the wind through the door, only the banging of zippers in the dryer. I mourn, I miss the on-ramp to civilization, but drive endlessly and too fast and keep missing the off-ramps. I'll catch the next one. In a way, it's a sociological poem. And he was a person who liked to, I don't know if this has been clear, but the intention was to publish this, Ari's intention was to publish this with him. Our father died very recently between the finishing of this manuscript and the publication, which is going to be in a few months.
Weeks.
And
depending when you're looking at this, maybe it's out now. arigoldfilms.com/poems.
Yeah, so anyway, so we had hoped he would be part of these readings, but Ari may cut in a reading of his, which is he got some on film or not. But would you like to read one more of yours?
No, well, not really. I think we can. I think we maybe have intrigued people enough to say, please support your local poetry industry.
It's a big business.
And if you would like to see Father versus Son, which by the way is full of photographs, art. It's not just a poetry book. It's also a collection of life and put together very. I hope in a way that allows you to kind of unwrap the onion of multiple lives and multiple generations and the way they speak to each other. So thank you very much. And perhaps I will show a little clip here of our dad reading poems with us when we got him writing poetry again, once we were in person and we invited him to a poetry gathering. So here you go. Here's Herbert Gold, and thank you very much.
Soon absent, but still here forever is the title. Very happy to have been alive. What's my
Your handwriting
is
a challenge even for you. That's
but I'm very happy to be still alive. But it's right and proper to be full of gloom. And then I look and turn and hear what sometimes inaccurately, but feel the resonance of my sons and even the daughters absent. So yes, I'll hang around in here, hang out, hang around until lightning strikes, then carry me to the flames and scatter my ashes in the woods where we accompanied that brother of mine, that beloved brother. That's it. That's it. The famous lines that you probably all know. Old men should rage, rage at the dying of the light. And that's a foolish statement because it's much better to not rage, but to accept what's coming.